Hey, check out this week's weekly video fishing forecast. We have all on what's in the June issue of Fisherman magazine. We have reports of events from around the island, a dreamboat and coastal kayak clash update, and some information on our new Dock and Dine segment.
The ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast, the Fisherman magazine.
Just catching. New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
We're down here at Seabourn Marine in Bay Shore. As you can tell, it's not a nice day out today, but the weekend is going to be a lot nicer. Let's get out of the weather for now. Today is May 22nd, 2025. Let's head right over to the glossy issue of Fisherman magazine, see what's out this month.
The June glossy edition of the Fisherman magazine is out now. Fluke On is a great article from Scott Newhall on the art of the hook set when fluking. 12 Flies, 4 Seasons is the must-have flies you need in your wallet by Angelo Paluzzo. Looking for a surf combo? Long Island editor Matthew Broderick has 8 combos from beginner to the elite. Not just any rod is ideal for targeting fish from a kayak. Dustin Stevens has 5 rods that are ideal for you kayakers. If you have a small skiff and want to maximize its performance, then check out John Raguzzo's read on prop swapping. Finally, Tail End, the story of Kenneth Bliss and how he caught the food chain in one cast. This is a must read. To get all this and more, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. When you subscribe, you get 12 glossy print editions, 26 digital editions to your inbox, this past weekend's reports, full access to the website, and more. As a subscriber, you can also be part of the Dreamboat Challenge and win a new Steigercraft powered by Yamaha, and compete for a rigged-out kayak from Yak Attack in the Coastal Kayak Clash. Subscribe now.
Can't believe that Memorial Day weekend is already upon us and is the perfect time to honor those who sacrificed for our freedom that we have today. Also, great time to mention that the Manhattan Cup is coming up. That's on June 6th. Mike Dean has more details on that. Mike.
Hey Matt, really excited for the Manhattan Cup. We're only a couple of weeks out from it. It always sneaks up on us. And from the first time I heard about the Manhattan Cup and what they were doing for veterans, I was like, this is just something really good. And each year, more and more, I realize just how vital of an event it is and just something that we need to do for veterans. It's just unimaginable that there's 22 people a day on average that left America, went to a foreign land, willing to die for us. And there were obviously many that died. A lot of people that didn't came back in some of the worst shape imaginable, from PTSD and traumatic brain injuries. So your entry is tax write-off. And the day is unreal. It's at Liberty Landing in Jersey City, arguably one of the best views of Manhattan, with the Freedom Tower just glaring in the background. We start out at the Statue of Liberty with a shotgun start. FDNY sends Marine One fireboat firing the water cannons, and it's an unreal sight to see. And once you've done with fishing for the day, and we're back at Liberty Landing, we're doing a Cajun crawfish broil this year. There's drinks flowing, everyone talking about the day, reconnecting with people that they've met in past years, getting to know people that are there for their first time. And the most important thing is being able to talk to some of the veterans that are there, and you see a big change in them since when they showed up at check-in. If you don't want to come as an angler, we can use you as a captain, and that entails bringing your boat, bringing the gear, taking out a team of anglers, veterans, sponsors, and you're taking them out fishing for the day. There's no charge for that. We truly appreciate anyone that would do that. And this year, more than ever, that we're trying to get out more veterans, we could really use local captains. You don't have to be a Coast Guard licensed captain. We're just having a day of fishing. And it's, believe me, this day will change you if you haven't joined us before. If you have been with us before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Manhattan Cup, it's coming up soon, Friday, June 6th, Liberty Landing in Jersey City. It's going to be a great one.
We are down here at Seabourn Marina in Bayshore. They have everything you need here, all the essentials. They have fishing gear, beer, soda, coffee. They have oil for your outboards, all that good stuff. They have full service marina here as well. Gas, diesel, everything you need to get you out on the water and make sure you have a good day on the water as well. You got to check these guys out. And to get to the marina, you want to go past Nikki's on the bay, work your way through the Bayshore Marina, and you're going to end up at Seabourn Marine. We have a new feature in our June edition of the magazine. On page 47, we have a dock and dine just in time for the holiday weekend. There's some great waterfront restaurants, many with live music. Whitecap and Islip, Tress Palms in Babylon, the Vern in West Babylon, the Spot in Oakdale Yacht, and on our Patrick River, there's Dublin Deck and Harbor Crab. Get all the details in the June issue.
At the edge of Long Island, where the ocean meets tradition, Montauk Anglers Club can be your boat's home and your gateway to legendary fishing. Whether you're a pro or just casting your first line, this is where memories are made. Join Montauk Anglers Club, where the catch of the day is just the beginning. Or go to montaukanglersclub.com for more information.
Now let's see the upcoming events around the island. Starting off, if you have a Go Fast fishing boat, you may be interested in the inaugural poker run taking place on the Great South Bay. June 1st, proceeds will benefit the Blue Island Oyster Foundation. Get all the details at gsbpokerrun.com. Then from June 1st to June 30th is the Surf Rats Ball Catch and Release Striped Bass Tournament. June 6th, as we mentioned before, is the Manhattan Cup Catch and Release Striper Tournament. June 21st is the Great Gun Mauritius Anglers Shark Tournament. June 22nd is the first annual Bay Rats and Billy Striped Bass Invitational. And June 28th to 29th is a Valley Stream Fishing Weekend. Also on the 29th is the All-Pro Fishing Duke of Fluke Tournament and Fair. For all the details on those events, visit fisherman.com/events. Let's get the latest on the Coastal Kayak Clash and Dreamboat Challenge.
We had 8 new entries in the CKC this week and some shuffling in the standings as well. We had a little skirmish at the top of the weak fish category with Bruce Lofgren and Dustin Stevens duking it out for the top. Dustin Stevens won the top spot by 1/4 of an inch. 2 nice fluke filled out the fluke category. Greg Sakowitz landed a 19.25 incher for 3rd place, and Peter Farina took 2nd with a 20.5. David Dew kicked off the sea bass scoring with a 17.25 incher. And there's a new leader at the top of the striped bass category. Tom Hood nailed it down with a 39 incher this week. Justin Oser upgraded both his blackfish and porgy entries with a 21 and a 16 incher respectively. The leaderboard now looks like this. We have Tom Hood in 3rd place with 5 points. Justin Oser and David Dew are in a virtual tie with 6 points, and David Dew takes the top spot thanks to his 34.5-inch striper.
Hey kayakers, the Fisherman's Coastal Kayak Clash contest is back. Win this fully outfitted Hobie Mirage Lynx kayak from Yak Attack along with other great prizes. Catch and release as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. To enter, you must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, fish from a kayak, and document your catch. Many chances to win great prizes, so get out there on the water now and fish hard. To be part of the action, you must be a subscriber and register at thefisherman.com. Now it's time for the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge Update. Long Island subscriber Sean Brownyard from Bright Waters, New York, weighed in a 6.8-pound weak fish at Suffolk Marine, placing him in 1st place in the weak fish category. From Malvern, New York, is Long Island subscriber Gregory Satchel, placing 3rd in the sea robin category with a sea robin of 3 pounds weighed in at Bay Park Fishing Station. Weighing in his entry at Miller Place Bait and Tackle is another Long Island subscriber, Daniel Solomon, with his 2.2-pound sea robin, putting him in 4th place in the sea robin category. Then we have New England subscriber Matt Kelly of Boxford, Massachusetts, weighing in a porgy of 2.4 pounds at Maco's, placing him in 3rd in the porgy group. Another Long Island subscriber from Hampton Bays, New York, is Louis Toloski. entering a sea robin weighed in at East End Bait and Tackle at 3.3 pounds, putting him in second in the sea robin category. The leaderboard stands like this: Sean Brownyard with 10 points, Vince Sorkis at 10 points, Scott Waterman at 10 points. Remember to read all contest rules before entering the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. Are you the best angler in the Northeast? Well, now is your chance to prove it. The Fisherman's Dreamboat Contest is back. Win this Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha along with these other great prizes. Fish hard and weigh in as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. What's the catch? You must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. All it takes is one fish on the board to win a great prize, so however you fish, you have a shot. For all the details and official rules, visit thefisherman.com.
Our reports from around the map this week is sponsored by Marine Mate of Lindenhurst. Starting off, on the east end, 18-year-old Joe Nuzzi, he caught this nice sized striped bass on a diamond jig. He's fishing over by the Greenlawns off on the west side of Shelter Island. Him and his brothers, they found a school of bass, and they also said there was some bluefish in the mix. Moving on, Ron from Patchogue, he caught this nice bluefish last week on the eastern South Shore inside one of the bays. Moving on to the South Shore, Central South Shore that is. Aaron Gussler, he had a South Shore bluefin. We mentioned last week that the bluefin are showing up. Well, he went out and he got one himself. Nice fish, Aaron. Junior Castro, he fished a surf from the Central South Shore and had this nice 31-pound striper after dark. Bill Falco of Chasing Tails Bait and Tackle in Oakdale, he hit the beaches at night as well and he pulled in this quality bass. All of his fish were caught on darters that night. Len Payne, I ran into him last week over the weekend. He showed this 25-inch fluke caught in a Narrows Bay. He also mentioned that he caught several blues, and he did lose a lot of lures to them, so he's going to be switching over to wire leaders. Goro, he had a 5 3/4 pound fluke on a poison tail with a grub. He caught that fish while fishing with Captain Joey Leggio in the western portion of the island. Then Harold Verity, his first trip of the year on the Captain Gillen out of Captree. He didn't have the length on the fish, but it came in at 5 pounds, 7 ounces, caught on an old-fashioned squid strip and spearing combo. Dylan Jewell was on the digital cover early in the week, but he sent in a picture of his son. He had a bluefish on the Central South Shore from the surf. Nice job, Dylan's son. Paul Garofalo, I'm sure you guys recognize that name. Paul is Fred's son. He had a nice bluefish from the boat in the back of the Cupsog area in Mauritius Bay. Then moving on to the west end, Kim Banyan, she fished on the Super Hawk for her personal best fluke of 8 pounds, 11 ounces, nearly a 9-pounder on gulp and light tackle bucktails. Elisa, she hit the surf with her boyfriend after dark in the Jones Beach area in the back bays. Got this nice black drum on a piece of clam. Very nice fish. They were going for redfish, but they'll take that as a runner-up. John Sipple and his brother, they hit the Meadowbrook Bridge for this 31-inch striper over the weekend as well. Moving on over to the north side of the island. Rob Gates, he said our first good size striped bass of the season was caught near Manhasset Bay. The fish was 36 inches, hiding out near structure. He got him on a 5-inch NLBN paddle tail. Will Nash, he also checked in with Reporty Report. He said he had him up to 13 inches on the central north shore of the island using a porgy rig baited with clam. Then Rob, he also showed this oversized striper from the central north shore area. The pick is from North Country Gas Bait and Tackle. And if you do have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I'll try and get it into the weekly video fishing forecast for next week or the magazine.
Hi guys, I've always found this part of the rod and reel to be a little hard on your hands. That's why I created Rod Wrap, a neoprene grip that goes around the rod and reel and makes it easier on your hands. And yes, you can put a jig in it. Get yours at rod-wrap.com.
Our meteorologist, Rich Von Ohlen, here's a weather and fishing report brought to you by Premium Bucktails. Rich.
Hey, thanks, Matt. We'll check that holiday weekend forecast. You can always check your favorite apps, weather tools, weather sites, whatever you got. This is a general heads-up, general overview on the upcoming weekend. So we were out on Tuesday, and things got a little nicer after that gusty breeze in the ocean. We were south of the Rockaways trying to find some bass. We did find the bunker, And we found the dolphins. They were all over the ocean south of the Rockaways there. You can see the New York City skyline in the background. We were just cruising around, putting out some baits, but nothing but dolphins in the ocean. So we came back in. Again, no bass. We did have some fluke, a lot of short fluke, and also a sundial flounder. Haven't seen one of these in a while, but they're there in Reynolds Channel. And, the bite was so-so. It's starting to pick up a little bit. Water temps were kind of chilly. We had some mid-50s, and that's the ocean temp right now. Hopefully this starts to come up a little bit as things warm up, maybe by next week. But in the coming days, it's going to stay chilly. I mean, temperatures 60s for the most part, Friday, Saturday into Sunday. You got that nor'easter still spinning slowly across the Gulf of Maine. It's going to take its own sweet time getting out of here. We're on the southwest corner. So Friday, the winds won't be too bad. They'll crank again Friday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday, west-northwest, a little gusty, a little better perhaps on Sunday. I think if you can do anything, your best bet to fish without any big winds is going to be on Monday, Memorial Day itself, but could be a spot shower throughout the entire week, and it's also going to be kind of chilly too. Waves on Saturday, ocean right by the beach. It's a little better. You go 5-10 miles offshore, though, it's going to be a little kind of lumpy there, and maybe a little bit of improvement coming up on Sunday, but a bigger improvement certainly by Monday. There's a GFS model temperatures for Saturday. We got some low to mid 60s. That's about 10 degrees below where we should be. A little better, closer to normal getting in on Sunday. The Guru, one of my go-to apps, and you can see there's a lot of yellow on there, a lot of wind. Little window there early Friday morning. If you try to sneak out, that might be your best bet before the winds start to crank in the afternoon. Saturday, it's steady west-northwest all day again. A lot of wind this spring. A little better on Sunday, maybe not as gusty, but still some gusty breezes in the afternoon. And then it looks like your best bet, Memorial Day Monday, there's where the winds drop out quite a bit. And the waves look good too. So that might be your best bet there. Weekend weather deal, we'll call it okay for Friday. It's just cloudy and drizzly. The winds shouldn't be too bad. A little gusty on Saturday. And then Sunday, I think the wind drops a little bit, but still a bit of a breeze coming in from the west-northwest. You can always check my forecast. I update them frequently on Weather Express. That's on Facebook and YouTube. And again, looks like, kind of a 50-50 holiday weekend. If you get out, be safe as always. Catch them up. Have a great weekend. Matt, back to you.
Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Well, as you can see, I'm out here in Montauk. It's a rainy Thursday morning. Getting my report in a little bit late. But the fishing's definitely picked up. I mean, obviously the weather is kind of a factor. This weekend, we're looking at a lot of northeast wind. And we've had a bit of wind over the last week. But the striped bass fishing's really picked up. We're still getting fish up to 40 inches. That's going well. The fluking's picking up. The porgy fishing up in the bay is really getting good. We're getting reports of really large porgies in the mix. Sea bass are around. Unfortunately, nobody can keep them. So it looks like a good pick if you're going to be able to get out with a good weather window. It's looking like Sunday, Monday are probably going to be the best for our Memorial Day weekend. So everybody have a great weekend. Catch them up, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
From Sag Harbor, we have Will and Andy.
Thanks, Matt. Report this week out of Sag Harbor. Guys, the fishing hopefully is just going to continue to get better and better. We've had great striped bass action locally around the Peconics on everything from jigs and bucktails to poppers and swimming plugs. So we're super excited for that to hopefully continue. We've also had some gator bluefish now that are starting to come into the mix, so that's always fun on topwater action. In addition, when it comes to bottom fishing, we have everything from porgies and weakfish, which are starting to make a good showing. And while the fluking has been slow, kind of locally around Shelter Island and around the Peconic area, it is starting to hopefully pick up and will continue to get better and better as the water warms. Thanks, Matt. Now back to you.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean.
Hey, Matt. What's going on, everyone? Fishing continues to be going strong here for the spring season in between Shinnecock and Moriches. There has been some action off the beach, mostly bluefish, back in the bays loaded with bluefish. There are some stripers around, although the action has been kind of in the overnight hours. A lot of darters have been working, some mega sheds, but you got to be willing to sacrifice some of those because of some of those blues around. Last week, a couple of big bluefin tuna were caught a little bit closer to the Captree area, which kind of had everyone going into a frenzy to get out there on Friday. Unfortunately, fog socked a lot of people in, and there really wasn't much life for those that went out. And once the fog burned off, really did a lot of scouting, and unfortunately no tuna, and there weren't really any big bass around either. So, but the bluefish and those stripers that are in the bay and close to the inlets and just off the beaches close to the inlets are keeping people busy. So weather looks a little bit tricky going into the long weekend, but definitely we'll be able to get out there and cast a few lines, hopefully get into some fish. So have a great Memorial Day weekend. I'll talk to you next week.
From Northport, the Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle Report.
This weekend, we've got Memorial Day coming on, and what a perfect time to get out. You know, we've got to have some chancy weather conditions, but this weekend's looking to be fantastic. I bet after the poor weather goes through, we're going to have a lot of highs, so you're going to see a high front come through, and that's usually blue skies and fantastic conditions. That's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think that it's going to be really nice going into Monday. So let's get out there. There's plenty of fluke. We've got porgies inside, porgies off the beach, the docks. They moved in heavy. The striped bass still is going fantastic. We're looking at another moon phase coming up. So there's so many different options. Remember, we still have weak fish to go for, and there's plenty of bait out there. Our shops are stocked with eels, live killies, bloodworms, sandworms, all kinds of fantastic baits. And they're just ready for people to come in when they're going out. Let's go have a great time. I wish you all a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. And as always, I bid you peace and tight lines.
Let's get the way to some all-pro tackle and market in Lindenhurst.
We've got a bite if you could get out. That's basically the scenario that we have here on the South Shore of Long Island, the Fire Island area, coming out of all-pro market and tackle. There's fluke out there. There's keepers out there. We're getting reports when people could get to the fishing grounds. Striped bass are being caught every day. We at All Pro are carrying spot now. We got a great deal on them. Great for, bay fishing for striped bass over the shoals, the dips, under the bridges, stuff like that. The spot are a killer. By the sore thumb, you drag a spot through a couple of different spots over there, no pun intended, and bingo, you'll hook up. The flutter spoons are also working. Morning, we're like the shads and some plugs and stuff like that being thrown, works real well. Dickinson channel, but you kind of have to look for them, find the bait, find the fish, right? Black drum, I mean, I've got more reports of black drum this year than I think I've heard in the last 10 years. So there's a black drum bite out there as well. Tuna, we got some information that they are, and I guess it's no surprise, they usually are about this time of year, that the tuna are within 5 to like 40, 50 miles out. Again, they got tails, so they move around. So you're going to have to find the bait. If you have a network of friends out there, it's going to help you. At the All Pro shop, we got a lot going on. We're kind of kicking off the season if we can. The weather is like horrible, okay? But we're working through it. Like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, we've got spot. We're going to have live killies in about a week. That's going to help with the fluke bite a little bit. We've got the Duke of Fluke on June 29th. Entries open up June 1st. Very cool stuff. Get involved now. It's a great tournament. We have it catered. We got live bands. We got a lot going on there. You got a really cool, and I'll put it up maybe next week or so forth, really cool windbreaker and hat that you get for signing up for the tournament. Really good stuff. Hey, fishing is there. It's out there. Get out there. Have some fun. Get out of the office. This is Captain V for All Pro. Let's get fishing.
From Jones Beach Bait and Tackle and Captree Bait Tackle and Fuel, Brendan Rutigliano.
Thanks, Matt. Another great week of fishing reports at Fire Island Inlet. We are having another great early season of action here at the piers. We are getting reports of everything from tuna, weakfish, fluke, bluefish, and striped bass. This is definitely the time to fish. Local legend John Schmall has been on the pier and been catching consistent fluke. I had to bribe him, actually, to get this picture of his keeper. Richard Chen and Rich Brown have also been pier regulars, regularly catching fluke and striped bass. The shore has also been steady with striped bass and bluefish. This is a picture of Nick Smith with an overslot from the local beach. The Captree fleet continues to work the area with spearing and squid, and it's paying off. Here's a picture of the jib with this week's 6-pounder, which is one of the larger fish caught this week by the fleet. We are hearing of weak fish in the State Channel and inlet, which brings us to the king cod, which has been catching consistently whenever they get good weather to go out. Before I forget, let's take a minute for Jones Beach Bait and Tackle, which is now open daily. And for the small amount of anglers actually showing up, they are consistently catching blues and bass off the pier. The channel is warming up for fluke, so we have spearing and squid, but we'll have fresh bunker daily because it's really your best shot at those gorilla blues. Back to you, Matt.
From Oceanside, Captain Joey Leggio.
Hey, Matt, thanks a lot. So the report added the Debs Inlet to Jones Inlet area, including Reynolds Channel, Magnolia Pier, and all around those surrounding areas. So on my trips on the effing fishing charters, we were out there getting rewarded with the fluke, but you really got to work hard. We've been working the areas around the school, Lindell, the golf course, some of the channels around Jones Inlet. You know, you really got to work from basically find some fish, pick a couple. If it slows down, move to another spot, hopefully get another couple keepers, you know, and in the end of the day, you'll put a catch together. I know Bob's been basically doing the same thing over at Sea Rogue. So you just basically got to work from them. The fish are there. The biggest we had this week, we had a 5 3/4. There was a 10-pounder, I believe, weighed in over at Scotty's or Ted's, one of the stations over there. I think Mike Keegan might have had that one. So there's definitely some fluke around. So definitely, you know, give it a shot, work for it, but you can do what you got to do to put a catch together. Blues seem to scatter a little bit, although I did hear a couple coming off Magnolia, and also the fluke fishing still remains pretty good on Magnolia, speaking with Justin over there. What else we got to talk about? Barbara Solomon, my good friend Barbara. Guys, let me tell you, I've never met a girl as hardcore as this woman. She's out of control. She's been going up to the harbor catching bass. She's been going to Raritan. She's been going to Jamaica Bay. Whenever she can, she's out there fishing. But when it's windy, what does she do? Hell, she goes surf fishing, and she capitalized. She did really well on the bluefish with her friends over there on the beach surf fishing. So, guys, there's some blues on the beach. Not that I'm much of a surf fisherman, but hell, I'll report about it. Why not? I heard of some tuna being caught pretty close to shore, too, 5-6 miles from the beach. I heard of a couple tuna that were caught. And what else do I want to talk about? The bass was a little bit slow on the clam chum. We tried it a couple times, had one fish one day and 0 on the other one. So it's a little slow on the clam chum, which is surprising for this time of the year. They should definitely be there, but who knows? Maybe now after this rain and everything, when everything calms down, hopefully we'll see some bass on the clam chum. So that's always a great thing for the kids. It's a lot of fun in the bay. Nobody gets seasick. It's just a really good time for clients to do that. Also, guys, if you're interested in getting on my boat, you can contact me on my cell. You can call me. You could also see me on my social media. Just look up Joey Leggio on any of the social media platforms. You can find me on there. We could book you a trip. And I'll run in 2 boats right now. We have the Steiger Craft Pilot House and also the 23 Parker Center Console, which is also good for fly fishing. If you're in for fly fishing, no T-top or anything. So no snags for that if you want to whip a fly around. Other than that, that is my report. Matt, back to you, brother.
With our fly and freshwater report, we do have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, this has been an incredible day. Incredible day. River Bay Outfitters ran our trip to the Peconic River, which we do every year, and it's just absolutely gorgeous here. This is the jewel of Long Island. I love fishing it. You do really need, if you're going to fly fish, you really do need some kind of float craft. So we had canoes, kayaks, float tubes, all kinds of floating devices to floating crafts to get us out of this river. And it really, really is a beautiful river. And we had a lot of fun. Very windy, but with it, when you can move in, you can get it tucked into the coves. We all had fish, mostly bluegills. The guy, Jim, he had crappie and pickerel. A lot of hits on bluegills. It's just a lot of fun. I find it's one of my most enjoyable fishing experiences. It's like when I'm fishing for trout, I'm kind of hunting. I'm just taking it easy and drifting along, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous thing. So, if you get a chance, do this. Now, as far as the saltwater goes, I did get out there. I did see bluefish. I understand they're starting to wane a little bit. They're not as concentrated. They're still going to be around. You're still going to find them, right? And the bass, now I was talking to, a good friend, Alan. He's got a kayak, and he's been fishing in the marshes, and he took some beautiful bass in the marsh on fly rods. I personally think kayak's cheap enough. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to get all those fancy ones if you don't want, but they're so worth it, in my opinion. And once you own it, they don't cost anything. Once you own it. But I do have a boat too, so I do have them all. But as far as the bluefish goes, Bluefish Joe, he also said fishing the Jones Beach area, he did have a couple of them, but he feels that they're starting to move on. Hopefully he's wrong, because I was sick the week they were here, and I want to get out there, and I'll get out there this week. Of course, this is a big week for my family because my son Owen, he's graduating. So thank God he's graduating this week, and also he's plans to do a lot more fishing now. So get out where you can. Get yourself some kind of float craft, because we have ponds and streams and bays and all kinds of things, and it's really worth the time. So until next week, tie lines, everybody.
From Huntington, Captain Gaige.
Thanks, Matt. What's up, everybody? Captain Gaige here reporting to you from Huntington Harbor, where I fish 7 days a week for SandCityCharter.com. Don't forget to check out StripedBassInvitational.com and register your boat for Bay Rats and Buoy's first annual Striped Bass Invitational going down on Sunday, June 22nd. But guys, the fishing in our area remains the same. It's been lights out, and it's getting even better. If you were tactical enough to get out Friday and Saturday into the fog, and man, do we have some serious fog here over the weekend, you were rewarded by fish jumping out of the water all around your boat. As you can see here in the video, we were throwing the dock, so we were throwing this spook that I recently put some BKK single hooks on, because I hate the treble hooks, so we swapped those out. And on Friday, Gene even hooked up with a beautiful 40-inch bass on a flutter spoon, and he had it on a silver flutter spoon. But some of the fish that we're catching, that we're bringing on the boat, are spitting up 5-inch sand eels. So if you can match the hatch and throw anything that looks like this, guys, you are getting crushed out there on light tackle, and there's no more fun than catching big bass on light tackle on top water action. And I'll show you in the video here, because we were telling people to throw over the explosion and work it back, and make sure you pause when you get into where the fish are, because they're going to see that as an injured bait and go after it. So you got to pause it. Don't just rip it right through and crank it in. So in the video, you'll see it here. It was working great. If you want to get out there and catch some fish, hit us up at SandCityCharter.com. Don't forget to register your boat at StripedBassInvitational.com and join us on Sunday, June 22nd for the Striped Bass Tournament coming out of Huntington Harbor right here. We got a shotgun start from the lighthouse. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water. Back to you, Matt.
Let's check on in with Chris Landry.
Thanks, Matt. Fishing is hit or miss this last week, to be fully honest. Yesterday, a few captains got skunked. The captains that did connect went early in the morning. It's a real sunrise bite, and then they seem to get lockjaw, even though there are tons of bunker around. There's some smaller bunker around, as well as a large adult bunker. Hopefully that will hold the bass, but the back of the bay bass bite might be about to be a bust. All right, so it's time to head out front. Breezy Point is working. It hasn't been off the hook, but yeah, you can get bass out there, get some live bait, some bunker to do the trick. We're going tuna fishing Sunday. People are connecting with bluefin tuna. Make sure to get your migratory species permit. Fluke is still popping. Gypsy Charters is crushing the fluke, so hit them up for fluke. This Sunday, Fishing the Atlantic is doing 3 trips, so hit them up if you want to go out. We are fully booked until June, but I'd love to take you out in June, so hit me up. We'll go out. Be safe out there, and back to you, Matt.
From the Western Sound, we have Nuno Decosta from Tyalurs Tackle up and Rye.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. Another banger week of striped bass fishing. The big issue here is the weather. We've been plagued with fog. If it's not fog, if it's wind, if it's not rain, it's wind and rain. The weather hasn't been great. But when the guys are going out, the striped bass fishing has been absolutely on fire, guys. Mojos, umbrellas, guys are casting on them. Guys are live lining now. The bunker have moved in pretty thick at days that you can get them and snag them or cast net them. It's been amazing, guys. The fishing is really at its peak now. Lots of good-sized fish, including keepers and overs. It's been an amazing season. We hope the weather for Memorial Day weekend holds up and guys could get out there. Just got a lot of reports today, and guys are banging them out there. Got a little break on the wind. It's a little overcast, a little drizzle, but the fish are chewing. Porgy fishing remains hot, hot, hot to the east too. You know, obviously your worms and your clam baits, actually your chum, you're going to do a little better. Tuna fishing, South Shore, guys, they're getting them. Giant season is closed, the trophy season for the recreational angler, waiting on the commercial season to open. And then you have your mediums out there. Guys are getting these 150 to 250 pound fish, you know, some of them on top water. So it's been absolutely amazing, guys. On a side note, guys, the striped bass, they're still trying to take them away. For you guys choosing no harvest, it's working against you because now they're talking about no target. It's a serious threat, guys, for you to look into, and we're going to be posting more on the subject. Tight line, guys. Catch him up.
I'm sure you saw him on the cover this week. Very nice, Raul Ortiz. What report do you have for us?
Hey guys, Raul Ortiz here, the Urban Angler, with my report. Well, you already know, guys, fishing's red hot all around New York, guys. Anywhere on the Hudson River, the 5 boroughs, Long Island Sound, or along the South Shore beaches of Long Island. The Long Island Sound and 5 boroughs, you can pretty much catch anything from schoolie size to 30 plus pounds. I'm sure there's some bigger ones coming along now as fish are starting to make their way out of the Hudson River. On the South Shore beaches of Long Island, guys, you got a lot of stripers and bluefish, a lot of action. In the Great South Bay, same thing, a lot of action, a lot of stripers and blues. The fish that I'm seeing now just looking a lot more chunkier. You know, a lot more weight on them, even though they might be slot size. They're much healthier and bigger. But besides that, you know, the same typical lures are working, like the Joe Bags Waters and SP Minnows. Bucktails have been working, and a variety of plastics. Besides that, you know, I went out last night. It was lock and low fishing. We fished in the Great South Bay. Guys, you know, your inlets are pretty hot right now. Your bridges, wherever there's some structure or something like that, you'll be able to find some fish with no problem. You have a lot of bait in the water. If I'm right, I think when I was fishing last night, I saw a lot of spearing. Yes, spearing and a lot of shrimp. So, you know, for you fly guys, it's definitely time to take out that kind of gear if you're into that. But there's definitely a lot of bait in the water right now. The fish were just, you know, hanging around structure where I was fishing, and it was pretty much lock and low fishing with all the fish you wanted. Probably the biggest being around 36 to maybe 38 inches. But they're nice and healthy, guys. Some big, heavy fish with some big bellies. Anyway, besides that, I would like to give a shout out to the guys. My buddy Ronnie, Nick, Brandon, Billy, Scott, Steven, Chris, Rachel from upstate New York, Joe, and my final thank you. And just want to show my gratitude to everyone from the Fisherman magazine and putting me on the cover. Thank you. Thank you. It really means a lot. And that's it for my report. Back to you, Matt.
From the West End, Ryan Charleston.
Thanks, Matt. Hey guys, Ryan here with your Western Long Island surf fishing report. Fishing's been hot all over the South Shore. The peak of the spring run is definitely underway. I got out a couple times early in the week and couldn't get a touch on any of my bigger plugs. I put my headlight on and I noticed a lot of small sand eels getting churned up in the surf. As soon as I changed over to a Schwarter, I hooked up with an overslot bass, which unfortunately was my only striper of the week. However, there are tons of gator blues around. They definitely dominated the surf scene this week. I had one notable bluefish. It went 12 pounds and it hit a Schwarter right at my feet. I'm real excited for this new moon coming up on Monday, guys. I'm hoping to see a class of big breeder striped bass push into our area. Get out there and fish hard this next month, guys. It's one of the better chances of the year to land a real cow bass. Best of luck to everybody out there at tight lines, and I will catch you guys next week. Back to you, Matt.
From the Western Sound, Captain Andre Montgomery.
Thanks, Matt. Here we go to Long Island Sound. Captain Andre here. This week, we have striped bass up the wazoo. Everybody and their mother can get striped bass this week. Breaking all around us. One on. He got him, working him. He's working him. And they breaking around us. We haven't seen a blitz like this since I don't know when. Careful with those hooks. We went up for some porgies. The porgies are kind of scattered. They were in Foxes, they were in Bayville, but now you got to take a trip up towards Oyster Bay in Smithtown. Then we came back down, so me and Pete, we flew around the neighborhood, and we did get some local fluke. We probably got about 12 fluke. This one keeper right here with Captain Pete. The flounders are non-existent. I haven't seen any bluefish yet, but right now, the fluking and the porgies is off the hook. Back to you, Matt.
From the Breezy Point area, we have Captain Cal.
What's up, everyone? Checking in from Fishing Atlantic. Got this release, baby. Beautiful fish. Top water action. Live from Jamaica Bay. I figured what better than to actually do the report live from the boat. Here it is on our after work night trip. We're doing a little bit of everything, targeting striped bass and bluefish still. We got a bunker head here. So we got some people plug in, we got some artificials, and you know, if we want to spot lock and start chunking, we can do so when the sun drops. That is actually the program here and what works. There's not a lot of bunker around right now, so I think the plugs and artificials will stand out. I think the bait, I'm not sure if they're leaving the bay or just kind of spread out, but the back bay life right now seems to be a little spotty, hit or miss, depending on the tide. So I think the fish are moving out more out east and other areas. So yeah, be interested to see what other areas are reporting. So it looks like we will probably start changing gears and seeing some more fluke coming into the bay. So we'll be doing more fluking here in Jamaica Bay, and you know, yeah, that's that. All right, first keeper. Look at this one, huh? Yep, checking out. Peace.
The Fisherman magazine does have an apparel store. We have hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, all available now online, and free shipping with orders over $100. It is a perfect gift for yourself or that fisherman in your life. Visit thefisherman.com/shop or click on the card in the upper right. And if you guys do find yourself in the Bayshore area, please be sure to stop down at Seabourn Marine over here. They're easy to get to. They have gas and diesel, and included, they're taking 10 cents off both gas and diesel under the mark price outside here. It's one of the best fuel prices out there right now on the water for gas and diesel. Be sure to give them a visit. Also, keep in mind, Memorial Day weekend is coming up. Let's not forget the true purpose of this weekend, to honor those who sacrificed for us to have the freedoms that we have today. Be safe out there on the water this weekend. Have a fun one, catch some fish, and we will see you next week. If you come down to Seabourn Marine and you get any sort of gas or diesel, you get a free cup of coffee as well.